The era of true independent cinema has ended. What began as a rebellion against corporate control has been replaced by a quieter kind of conformity. This movement was defined by its opposition to the machine. The 1948 Hollywood antitrust case broke the massive studio monopolies by forcing them to separate production from distribution, creating a sudden crack in the industry's foundation. This gap allowed for the rise of the auteur theory. It proposed that the director, not the executive, was the primary creative force, capable of following a distinct, personal vision. Artists began to bypass the studio lots entirely. They financed their own projects, controlled their own edits, and reached audiences without the permission of a corporate board. For decades, independent had a concrete definition. It was the ability to create without relying on a profit-driven corporate hierarchy. Today, the center of this world has shifted to the major international festival circuit, with events like Cannes serving as the ultimate standard for success. The lineups at these festivals suggest a thriving variety of cultural and demographic perspectives. However, as these films move through the circuit, they align into a uniform pattern. They share a contemplative pace, familiar narrative metaphors, and narrow socio-political perspectives. To earn these laurels, a film must first pass through a complex network of institutional filters. The old studio monopolies have been replaced by a new, decentralized gatekeeper, the festival fund system. The system designed to liberate the independent artist has become the very mechanism that enforces their conformity. Most modern independent projects are not self-funded. They rely on a combination of government grants, NGO support, and festival-linked production companies. Without total financial independence, creative autonomy is impossible to maintain. The source of the funding inevitably shapes the final product. The festival programmers are the modern gatekeepers. Their evaluation process increasingly prioritizes specific trends over artistic innovation. They maintain controlled diversity. Funding is consistently awarded to films focusing on pre-approved themes of activism or trauma. Films exploring groundbreaking visual styles outside these political trends are denied access to the grants and screening slots needed to survive. When gatekeepers control the financial oxygen, the filmmaker's role changes. Success depends on curating a timely socio-political trend, rather than exploring a personal artistic vision. Filmmakers adapt to these rules by writing synopses loaded with the specific ideological buzzwords that funding committees expect to see. This creates a culture of self-censorship. Directors learn to anticipate the needs of their backers, striking out their own ideas before the cameras ever roll. This preemptive conformity leads to the glorification of the mediocre. Films that are safe and predictable are celebrated as masterpieces because they align with the current institutional worldview. It is a calculated populism disguised as niche or challenging art, a strategy used to secure funding while maintaining the image of an independent rebel. Ultimately, authentic storytelling is the final casualty. Many of these works feel like promotional assets for an NGO, stripped of the messy, unpredictable qualities that define a personal cinematic experience. The irony is complete. By establishing a centralized system of funding and validation, the indie circuit has rebuilt the same bottleneck the original rebels sought to destroy. These festivals often use anti-capitalist rhetoric while participating in a highly calculated market for grants and institutional prestige. The result is an echo chamber. The industry congratulates itself on its solidarity, while the actual medium of cinema remains stagnant. To break this cycle, filmmakers must reject the need for institutional validation. The first step toward independence is the refusal to self-censor. Technological leaps mean that cameras and computers are more accessible than ever. Direct distribution to audiences is the only way to bypass the modern gatekeepers. True independence is not found on a festival stage. It is found in the courage to bring an uncompromised personal vision into the world.